and viewers to Client's Tale. So, Client's Tale came from my personal. Oh, okay. Completely forgot. It don't sound no much different. Uh, Clientele came from um, conversations that I have with my clients. I'm a manicurist by trade. I've been doing nails for 34 years. The name of my company is Theresa Do My Nails. And I have really in-depth conversations with my clients all the time. And so some of my conversations with my clients are so in-depth, we get it they done turned it from they done went from clients to my friends. If I had a party, I would invite all of them because those are my friends. Those are the people that I spend my time with. So some of our as we get older, some of our clients I've had for 20 years. One of my oldest clients is actually a 34-year client. I've had her from the beginning of my client my career till now. So these conversations are not just regular conversations. These are they pay me, but these are conversations between myself and my friends. So some of these conversations are about us getting older, and we done went from going to see our parents to actually taking care of our parents. And some of our parents done transitioned, and praise God, not mine, but I have experienced with my clients some of theirs transitioning. So I just wanted to have conversations with my clients, and I wanted to record it because I think that they're amazing. So October 9th, laying in the bed, I began to weep uncontrollably. Like um, it was a cry of desperation. It was a cry that I have experienced only a couple of times in my life. I wanted a building during the pandemic. I have it, me and my brother together today. A lot of crying, a lot of money, a lot of whole bunch of everything. And the cry during that time sent my mother into a mode where she was like, I don't know what you need, but whatever you need. I'm 70 some years old. I don't need my name. Use my name. Get the building. So, because she wanted me to stop crying, but it was that kind of cry. I also experienced that cry when I was pregnant with my first child, which is my son. And I had never been pregnant before. So I don't know what contractions feel like. I don't know what labor pain is because I had never been pregnant before. My oldest sister, Faye, she used to run away all the time. So I have two younger sisters that we bonded so much. During my the end of my pregnancy, I'm laying in the bed with them, and I began to have a pain. And so all I could do was, and so while I was doing that, tears was coming down. So my two baby sisters did with me, and then they was crying. So when contractions subsided, I started laughing because I was like, what was that? Because I didn't know. I never been pregnant before. So then my sisters started laughing too. And then the tears, and then laugh. So we all did it together. So that's what I felt October 9th. It was like contractions. And I was like, it kept going Friday. So now we in Friday, and I'm gonna force myself into the shower. Like I gotta, keep it moving because as women, we know how to do that. Saturday, still heavy. I'm listening to Miles Monroe. I'm not getting no relief. And we all know how inspirational Miles Monroe is, but I wasn't getting no relief. And then finally I said, oh, I just wish I could talk to my son. And I felt like God is getting ready to birth something. And it was so many names that I could come up with, but I couldn't even think on my own because I was unbelievably sad. And then I said, I wonder if Tiffany would like to talk to her baby. I wonder if Sharika would like to talk to her baby. I wonder if Liz would like to talk to her baby. I wonder if Danny would like to talk to her baby. And it was hard for me to reach out to you guys because like I said, when I'm having a good day, I want it. And I don't want it to be interrupted with other people having a bad day about Tyrone. I was just calling because I was checking on you. I was just feeling sad about Tyrone. Like, no, we're not doing that because today is amazing for me. So I didn't want to reach out, but then I felt a pulling in my spirit to just do it. So I said, I'm not gonna call, I'm just gonna text. So I text all of you guys and I just asked, can I call? And you guys said yes. So we hold a space that everybody, I don't think it's words to explain how we feel some days. And some days I just sit in isolation and I just, because that's all I can do. And sometimes it's without tears, and sometimes it is. Sometimes I'm not sure what it is, and sometimes I know it's my son. And I was just wondering, as mothers, what does that feel like for you guys? Because my son was shot. And when you get the news that your 22-year-old has been shot, and I'm wondering, what did you feel when you got the news that your baby was no longer here? You know, when I asked the detectives, when they say he was shot, I said, okay. And I said, well, should we go to the hospital? You know, because I'm thinking he's shot. And they say, no, he's at the morgue. And I'm saying, what does that space feel like for you guys? Like, and I think it's a good space to sit in with, because I can't talk about this with my friends. My friends don't have children that has been killed. My friends' kids are alive. So what do you do when my mother don't share this space? My mother didn't have the words for me. My pastor Marlon Locke, cause you are amazing. You know, you did this. I'm like, I don't even know what I just did. It was by the grace of God. You know what I mean? And I'm just interested in, when you got the news, what did that feel like?
So for me, when I got the news, at first I think I was in. At first, I think I was in denial. When I heard it, so when I first got the call, it was just, oh, Talia was in a car accident. So I didn't think much of it. Like, okay, she's been in a couple fender benders prior. So I was like, okay, do I need to come? You know, is she okay? The first phone call, it wasn't, oh, I'm gonna call you back. Okay, I was at work. I'm like, all right, I'll just wait till I hear. But then, like, I don't know, I felt something. Someone told me just call Talia's phone. So maybe probably like 5 minutes later, I just felt real uneasy. So I called her cell phone. Her friend answered the phone. And I'm like, where's Talia? And I could hear her friend kind of whimpering. And then she handed the phone to somebody else, which was her mom, her friend's mom. They were already on the scene, so they already knew like what had happened. So her mom gets on the phone and I said, hey, is Talia okay? Is Talia okay? And she said, no, she's not okay. I'm like, what do you mean? What's going on? She was like, she didn't make it. And I'm like, what? And she's like, she didn't make it. I'm like, she didn't make it?
It's a car accident.
Yeah. So at that moment, I think I can't even really remember what happened with me. But I do remember I just fell out. I was crying. And I think I was screaming because I was at work. Yeah, I was at work. And then everybody was like rallying around me, trying to help me. I done went to the floor. And then her dad called me. He's crying. And I'm just like, this is crazy. Like, this can't be real. I felt like I was having a bad dream. And then at some point, I'm about to wake up. But it just kept going. It was like, oh, you need somebody to pick you up. And I'm thinking, like, I can go get in my car, but I couldn't. I couldn't do anything. And so I got to the scene. I saw Tiffany, and Tiffany's like, Sharika, they didn't make it. And I'm just like, what? Like, it was still unreal to me. Like, it really, really didn't hit me till like the next day. I was in such disbelief. Like, I cannot believe this. Did this really just happen?
So when you got to the scene, she was still there?
No, she was gone when I got there. They had already taken her away, and this was during COVID, so we couldn't go see or nothing. We had to see them on. They showed me on their phones. You know, I had to ID her via a phone, and I saw her, and she looked fine. Like it didn't look like anything was wrong with her to me, and I'm still like, this can't be real. This can't be real. Like there's no way.
How old?
She was 19. 19. It was. I till this day, it's still like unreal. I still have moments like, I can't believe this happened. Like, I cannot believe this happened to her. I just can't. I've accepted it, but still, there's days I'm just sitting there like, why? But then why not?
And when you say why not, what does that mean?
I'm saying, like, she shouldn't be exempt. You lost your baby, you lost your baby, you lost your baby, you lost your baby. Why do I feel like mine should be exempt? These things happen. And I don't get to determine when, how. It's not up to me.
Well, but with that, I'm sorry. How did you arrive there, though? Because that's not
honestly
what we think first. Why not me? Why?
I didn't think that at first. At first, I did not. I was asking why her. But I got there, you know, just listening to my dad, listening to you. You played in my head so much when you used to tell me, Sharika, death is not reserved for bad people. So I had to come to the understand. I didn't do nothing. She didn't do nothing. It was just her time. And I understood that.
At 19.
At 19.
That's courageous.
And I remember you one time you told me you had a friend who lost their baby when they was 5.
Mm-hmm.
And you said to me, Sharika, she only had her baby for 5 years. You had yours for 19.
Yeah, I had to learn to celebrate the 22 years that I did get. When you hear that my friend grandson was beaten to death at 5. So when I got that news, that's the day I got out of bed, because I had laid in the bed for almost 10 months. When I got the news that a 5-year-old was mangled, like he was brutally beaten. I felt like David. I got up, I cleaned myself up, I called my friend, and I think that's the day I began to celebrate. I had him 22 years. Lord, I thank you for 22 years. And so, Tiffany, when you got to the scene, because your baby was
18. So when I had got her, I sent her father first because I got a inbox somebody on Facebook that I didn't know. They said Ashanti is hurt. Ashanti is hurt. Well, where is? They said 91st and Bradley. So I had an infant baby because I was fostering at the time. I called her father at work. I said, "Can you go check out and see what's going on?" They didn't say car accident, anything. They just said Ashanti is hurt. Oh, did she break her arm? What happened? You know? So he said, okay, let me go up there. So he didn't hear me. He came to the house and was grabbing on the door. I said, she's not here. She's on 91st and Bradley. So he went over there. Seemed like it took him forever to call me. I was scared to call him back. So I waited for him to call me. He called me probably after about 30 minutes. And he said that the ambulance were still here. And he said, Tiff. I'm like, yeah. He said, she gone. And I'm like, well, where's she gone? They just said she was on 91st and Bradley. And then he kind of sighed a little bit and he was like, she gone, Tiff.
So
Nah,
no hospital,
no.
straight to the morgue too.
Yeah. It was crazy. And so I drove there. I don't even know how I drove there. I don't even remember driving. Like it's like I blacked out. I drove all the way there. I was praying, like, God, please, please, like it won't be real when I get there. When I got there, I don't even know how all these people was there. Before me, the school was notified. The principal had called me. All these people were out there. Some of my family, like friends of hers, cousins. I have no idea how the word got around that fast.
Well,
And I thought she was
popular. Was they real popular?
Shanti, kind of. She knew a lot of people, but I didn't even know Talia was there. I didn't know.
They was in the car together, right?
Yeah, I had no idea. I thought she was by herself. So yeah, my world went upside down.
For you guys, because you guys were already friends because your girls was friends. But were you guys friends prior to, oh, okay.
We knew each other for years. We were neighbors.
So what does that feel like? Like, so I always wanted, like, Sharika is my client.
Right.
So you kind of fit into the ClienTELLs box.
Mhm.
But it's when I heard that y'all girls was together, I wondered, because my son been gone since 2012. So I'm 13 years out. So I was already talking about how my perception of death with Sharika them already. So Sharika, I don't know if the Holy Spirit had already got you ready.
It seemed like I was already
ready. Yeah, because I'm so transparent with them in regards to my son, but my life anyway. I'm just so transparent with them, and so it was a double homicide for my baby. My son and his friend was killed, and I don't know if this is mean or not, but I was like, everything God do is so perfect. Had little Dave lived and my son died, I don't know what that would have felt like, because it was little Dave's, according to hearsay, and that's what it is for me because I wasn't there. It was little Dave's mission. Like he was going to do something, ask my son to go with him, and his mom thought that I was angry with her. I said, you was at home like me, you was working like I was working. So I just wondered, between you guys, did people like try to plant that seed in y'all spirit? Okay.
Not with me. Not with me, they didn't.
Because who's the driver?
My daughter was the driver.
Your baby did.
Yes.
So did people try to plant that seed in your spirit?
Like,
yeah. Are you mad at Tiffany?
No. Yeah.
No. Asking like your baby driving, your baby the passenger. Are you upset with Tiffany? No. I know that you're not, but I'm saying people try to because that. They want, and I'm like,
because they don't know,
right?
They don't know
the relationship, because you said that people they loved each other.
They loved each other.
Yeah.
People's comments through this whole thing was probably the worst.
Yes.
People that don't understand say the things that they say to people that have lost their child. I'm a firm believer. If you just don't know what to say, don't say nothing.
Yeah.
Because a lot of my trauma came from what people were saying. At one point, they were even asking, how was me and my own husband's relationship? Because they heard when you lose a child, marriages don't make it. Yeah. And I understand that, but I would rather you put me before God than tell me this. Pray for my marriage. Don't just, let me see if they're going to make it through this. Like, that is not, I had one person to tell me like, oh, it's going to be, this your son's death is going to bring all these people together. This was like maybe a few days after he died. You didn't ask me yet, but I searched for Avery for 3 days. we didn't have confirmation that he had died. He was missing at the time. We had half our family, friends. That park was filled with people. They was barbecuing, everything. While I was searching for my son, me and my husband and a few of his friends and my sisters and brothers and a few of my cousins were the only ones searching. I'm talking about in the creek, renting boats, everything. And it got to a point by the second day, I was so tired of walking up that hill and watching people laugh and joke while I didn't know if my baby was alive. I yelled and asked for, if y'all not helping me look for him, go.
Yes.
Go.
Danny, so for our listeners, I know a little bit about little Avery because I know you personally, and I don't know all the details to what happened, but I'm curious because little Avery could swim.
But no one could make it through this. This is unfortunately that Milwaukee has so much water. We are more than 50% water, and we don't take care of our water. If you fall in the Milwaukee River, you can't see your hand in front of your face. It's so dirty and so polluted. And the way he fell under the bridge. So in his area where he was hanging on the branch, it was only 3 feet. My son was 6'5". It was only 3 feet. But on that other side of the bridge, if he floated, it dropped down to like 25, 30 feet.
Oh, wow.
So they said he should have not tried to swim. They said when it's that type of current, you're supposed to just let your body float. But that ain't something that they tell us all the time. So as he was trying to swim, it grabbed him and dragged him under. And, he had really long locks. So we're not sure if his locks, and I'm sure it did, something got caught. And I remember walking on the other side of the creek on the second day. And this man, it was just fishing. And he was like, why is there so many people on the creek and on the bridge? I said, I lost my son is somewhere. At this point, I was still in denial that I just thought, look, my baby is somewhere laying on a side of the creek, just hoping somebody, cause he's hurt or whatever. That's just was going through my mind. And he was like, well, he told me, he said, I'm gonna let you know something right now. He said, if your son is in here, he's right there. I was like, what? He said, I'm a fisher and I fish this area all the time. And big fish, big animals, whatever, get stuck right there. And guess where he came up at? Right there. On the third day, he came up. He floated to the top. And I still, to this day, have not been able to see my son. They wouldn't let me see him. Well, they put a sheet over him during the wake before the funeral and put a rope around him. And, as a mother, for a long time, they told me, no, I couldn't see him. And I was so adamant. Even my brothers, they were like, you can't see him. You can't see him. You don't want to see him like that. You don't want to see him. I said, listen here, let me tell you about my mom. There is no way I'll be able to sleep every night without knowing and seeing my child. So yeah, Michelle actually, she did the funeral. She was like, okay, I could do this for you. She was like, but you got to sign these, consent that, this trauma won't affect you and you can touch his hair. So she lifted up the blanket. I was able just to touch his locks. And I asked her a favor. I said, could you just cut a few of his locks off for me? And she did it for me.
So you never seen Clay.
And that is hard. That's really hard.
So the service.
He was cremated. He couldn't handle it, like an added fee to get him in a Ziploc bag to keep his body together. And that's why they wouldn't let me see him, because he was so filled with water. They said if you touched his skin, it would just slide off. But
Because I know you was probably the hardest. It was probably the hardest call. wrestle with the Holy Spirit too, because I was like, she not my friend, so I should have to call her. Danny is so courageous with things. Danny can't even talk about little Avery. I remember when you called me. So I'm gonna get us about this microphone. And he said, and she said, I don't know what to do. I'm unbelievably sad. I'm so depressed. Thank God for my husband, and thank God for him. She said God gave her the absolute perfect husband for this. I mean, I believe that he's perfect anyway for her, but I'm saying for this situation, like he is so patient with her because Danny can't get out of the bed sometime. And I went over and we were supposed to talk and we didn't. We just looked at each other because that's all we had. And I think that as mothers in this space, sometimes that's all we got is to just sit in that space. But how it feels so good to sit with y'all because we occupy the same space, even though it was different types of death. It was still death. You know, it was playing over in my head because it was February when my son was shot in his back twice. And they said in the neighbor, because everything is hearsay, you know, for me. And he was running from house to house. And I heard that he was looking for help for his friend, little Dave, but he was shot. My son was shot, but his adrenaline was going. He was looking for help for his friend. So one of the neighbors was like the guy, he was knocking on doors and he was trying to get help for his friend. Whole time he was shot. You know, and that's the kind of son that I raised. And I'm gonna hear you talk about your baby too, Liz. But I want to tap into that too, because we hear your baby was killed in a car accident, and that's what I know. But I want to know what you raised, because my son is amazing. I love talking about him. But we're gonna hear Liz's story first.
Sure. It's not a year yet. So January will make a year, and this is actually the first time I'm really talking about it.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It is, and that's why I knew it was the Lord, because when you called me, I was at church, and I just felt heavy when you text me. It's just this weight, just I can't describe it. I just felt weighted, and I was like, okay. Then you text me, and I said I'll call you back. When I called you back, it was at the exact moment when you text me that was this weight. But we had been looking for him. Well, I had went to a leadership conference to speak, and I just was so uneasy about going. And my son had mental health challenges. It's a whole nother subject, but he was had the biggest smile ever. Still haven't been able to say his name yet. Sometimes I can't say his name, but he made a decision that impacted us all, and I remember trying so hard to her and everything. But I want to go back to something that Danny said. It was the people. Some of the people, like, oh my God. And I post on Facebook, like, if you ain't got, like, even to yesterday, I was so funny yesterday, and I almost sabotaged this, I think. Because yesterday I was going through some old paperwork and I found a birthday card he had given me. And I knew when I saw it, I'm like, I know this card is, I already know. And I opened it anyway. And it was a card that he gave me, and, all of that. But the day that I got the news, I'll never forget it. I was at Word of Hope in the office. I've not been back since. I go to therapy, get a therapist. It's okay, along with prayer. But I was at Word of Hope because we had been searching. I was actually on I think it's called the naming site, and I was getting ready to put his name because we didn't know where he went. And my ex called and said they got him. I'm like, what do you mean they got him? So we went down to the coroner's office. I was driving still. I don't remember. I just know I left and I got there. And when they told me, it just, I couldn't look. And Michelle, of course, they was like, I couldn't look. I didn't want to see him. I just couldn't handle it. So the first time I saw him, actually at the funeral. and it felt like every ounce of strength in my body just left. I couldn't stand. I couldn't. And I'm a poet, so I wrote a lot. I did a lot of videos, but one of the poems I wrote is like people say some crazy things to you, crazy things. And I wrote a poem and it starts off, how can I find peace when a piece of me is non-existent? And then it goes on to say other things. But it was just because I fought so hard. I fought so hard for his life. I fought so hard. I prayed, and that's another conversation as well, because I trust God. But at that time, just not knowing where he was, and it was winter, and I remember how cold it was, and I was just so concerned. And then when I found out that where he decided to say no to life anymore, right by my house while I was out of town, and it haunted me. I couldn't drive down Brown Deer. I just couldn't, and it just it's the worst feeling in the world. It's like people see you, but they don't realize it ain't you. And so they make comments thinking that they're talking to Liz, and she's not there. She's not there. Yeah.
Yeah, my my sister right up under me, Jacina, she bought me so much stuff. She brought me gifts. She brought me I have a yellow bracelet of this, and I had to stop her. I said, okay, sissy, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. I don't think you're gonna be able to gift this away. Like, I just want you to be happy again. I know. So that version of me no longer exists. My son being here, that version of me, don't look for her, because that's over. I have to learn how to live and navigate through life. I believe it was, who was it? Peter, Paul, who had the thorn in his side. And God said, my grace is sufficient to sustain you. So we live with the thorn, and his grace is sufficient to sustain us, because we do it every day, but that version of me, because I would always say my son and my daughter. And the reason why I wanted to do this, because I get to say, hey, this is my daughter, Brooke. She just purchased her first home, and she's only 22 years old. And then it's a part of me that feels bad that I don't get to say anything about him. Yeah. And then talking about him is hard, because who am I going to talk about him to? Because I don't want nobody to say, but he's deceased, right? Because I already know that.
How many years?
Because I already know that.
Like that matters.
Right. Yeah, because I want to talk about my deceased son. So where's a comfortable space to talk about him in?
Because it makes other people uncomfortable.
Yeah, but we not uncomfortable. And that's why I made the call. Because my 22-year-old son, who never had a kid, who never got the opportunity to get a wife, I was in a bereavement group, or whatever they call. They was in there talking about, because my mom. And I said, how old is mom? Because you look like you my age. Now, mom 80. My son was 22. Right. And I got an attitude. And that wasn't working out for me. Yeah. This ain't helping me. This hurt me. Because I don't want to give me 80 years. Right. I don't need no counseling. I got 22. So you in here talking about your 80, 90-year-old mom. I'm like, I'm sorry to hear that. I sure hate it for you, but this is the wrong group for me. Yeah, because my son was 22, so I found myself, I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this little program and everything, because I don't want to let Dr. Tipton down, but I'm gonna tell her, don't put nobody else in this group. We need a group by us. Because how old was your baby, Liz?
He was 33.
And Danny, your baby? 19 and 18. You think I want to sit with somebody talking about somebody 80? Right. Baby, I was just sitting in there like, yeah, this ain't gonna work out. But we hid in the house for 3 years. But we don't want to disappoint. And then we in the industry where we please people, so we want everybody to be happy. You like your hair, you like your nail. So I didn't want to drop
right back in bed. Yeah, that's what's my life for like going on 4 years. I think the last year God has just been really like talking to me, and I think everybody should just talk to him like on a daily basis, like he's your friend. Because I was okay to tell him, I am angry with you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to turn my back on you. I'm not going to, run out in the streets and do whatever. But please believe, while I love you and you're my creator, I am angry because that was my first. That was my baby. Before I got married, it was just me and him on the bus stop. Like he was my best friend. We talked about fashion. We talked about everything together. He was just me in a man's body. So my best friend is gone.
Funny.
Oh, he was hilarious.
It's so funny.
He just smiled. Oh God.
And didn't take anything that you said serious.
Nothing.
When I was doing your nails, you kept joking, Danny. I'm like, Avery, this is not the time. She's upset with you, sir.
Oh yes.
And he was still playing with you.
That's all he did was joke and play all day.
Sir, this is not the time. This lady is upset with you, and he was still.
He was just playing.
Yeah. Can you do this?
Yeah.
I said, oh, he's still asking for favors.
Yeah.
And Danny is like mad that now she got to smile like, now I don't know if you're mad or not, Danny. I smile too.
I couldn't mad. I could be mad. Like there'll be times that we would have an argument, and I would come in the house, and the first thing my husband would say, like, because the house would be cleaned up, and he was like, "Oh, your other man said he was sorry because because the house be clean. He tried to cook. It wasn't that good, but he tried. But
introduce us to little Avery.
Oh my goodness, Avery has. And this is what I do, thank God. And I think sometimes we have to, even though we don't have our babies, they weren't ours. I had to get to that point. They were never mine. It was a spirit that God allowed me to spend time with for 25 years. Sometimes as humans, we get possessive over the other people. And we don't own nobody. God owns everybody. And the things are going to work out the way his words say it's going to work out because he's not a liar. So whatever it's going to take me to get whatever my purpose is, that's how this world is going to move. That's how we're woven into each other. And what I do know about my son, it was about 300 people at his funeral. And I know for a fact that a lot of his friends gave their life to God. One of them got married. He's having kids, and these boys just run the streets. So so God just told me, he was like, but just think about it. He had 300 people we had it in the Vincent gym, and he was like, he had 300 people. How many souls did your one son save? I gave my son for the whole entire world, but I said, but I don't like these people, God. Like I don't like them like you like them.
Your kids.
These your kids, but we all have a purpose. And I just had to get to that point. But what made me so happy at his funeral, out of all the sadness, is these old people was just coming up and saying things about him, things I didn't even know. Yeah. And they were like, well, he came to my house every, spring and cut all my bushes back. And I'll be like, oh. And there was one lady that came and shook his daughter's hand and hug her, and I was like, where do you know this little lady from? She was like, oh yeah, he brought him sometimes, and I played with her while he would cut, do what I need to do outside. And then there was another old man. He got up, he said, oh, he cut my hair. He came over to cut my hair because I didn't have anybody to do it. That's what kind of heart he had. But I remember me and you had a conversation, and I said, Theresa, I don't think my son would be able to handle the world. His heart was too big. And I think if he got out here, people would take advantage of him. And he was just an angel. And you said Tyrone was too.
I don't, Danny, I'm sure I said that to you because I talk about him so much. But I always, when I would, Mom, that's my friend. I'm like, Tyrone, I'm your friend. Your dad is your friend. No, Mom, that's my friend. Then his cousin, that's my cousin. Like Tyrone, and he was so kind. And that's why I was like, I don't really think that he was ever going to, well, I know for a fact he wasn't going to live past 22. He was put here to be impactful in my life so I could sit with y'all, amazing women today. And we can tell other women, other mothers who experience your death, your baby death is a different type of death from my baby death. Danny baby death is a different type of death from my baby death. your girl's death different type of, so, but it's a mother somewhere that has experienced what we've experienced, and our candidness and our honesty and our transparency is going to help another mother, because this is courageous to do this. This is a space that nobody wants to sit in, but a lot of us sit in it. I've talked to mothers who say, I just drink all the time. And what is your weapon of choice? You know what I mean? My weapon was the Bible. I got right to the word, because I'm like, hold on, Dad, I don't know what's happening here.
How long did it take you?
Oh, immediately I got to the throne. I said, yeah, I'm gonna need space cleared out, because something just happened here. This is a jarring. Your baby accidentally fell in the water. Not to downplay your baby situation. My baby was shot. Who shot this 22-year-old? What's happening here? He's a caregiver for his grandmother. Who does that? You know what I'm saying? Where? Who? Why? What? Then the questions that people, what happened, T? You think a 43-year-old mother is hanging out with a 22-year-old? I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. I don't hang out with him. I'm his mom. I know him as a son. He's an amazing son. He's a good kid. He wasn't a latchkey kid. So I'm saying, who shot him in his back? Then to find out the person that shot him was 33 years old. Why are you even in his company? Like, you guys are not friends. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a thought. Like, it was immediately to the throne. My cousin Vaughn said, you just keep talking about God. That's all I got. That's all I got. My mother can't help me. My pastor can't help me. My dad can't help me. Don't nobody know this pain that's sitting around me. I immediately to the throne. Dad, hey, what's happening? Because I got a daughter. Please don't come get her. Explain to me what you want done so I can get it done expeditiously. Don't take nothing else. Is everything okay? Are we in good standings? What did I do? I thought, did I do something? Because why? I thought, what's wrong? What happened? You said, I said, did I do something? What? I don't know. He's 22, the longest eyelashes you've ever seen on a man. And I'm like, this thing is just, this the best thing I ever did. This is my only son. Only son. It took me a minute, because I couldn't process that thing, because I'm like, and I thank God for my client so much, because I was able to tell my story over and over and over. Nobody was going to get tired, because Sharika leaving. And when she leave, now somebody else coming out, the same story again. So that was the therapy. Baby, and was getting paid for the therapy too. Okay. Repeated. It was on repeat. Then the next appointment, they be ready. T, did you get anything? Did you hear anything? What you get from God? What you get from now that my clients call God Dad too, because I felt like I know that he would never hurt me, because he loved me so much that he would never hurt me, but I'm in so much pain. And I was laying in the bed and I was listening to the book of Job. I had an audio Bible and I had speakers just playing through my house, and my baby was 11 years old when he left. And towards the end of the book of Job, because God was quiet most of the book, and towards the end he said, who is this that's questioning me about what I've done? And my apartment was so little, because I was in a 1-bedroom apartment, and I didn't even have enough room to get out the bed, and I had to maneuver my way down, because my apartment was so small, because I had no money. And so I laid on the floor and I said, forgive me for questioning you about your baby. Thank you for allowing me to even have them. I'm so grateful that this type of human being was even in. I carried this thing. That little boy was amazing. When he came, he changed my life. When he left, he changed my life. I thank God for the heart that I have today because of him. He changed my, I know that we said that when Jesus died on the cross, that was supposed to take the sting out of death. When my son left, that took the sting out of death. because I was just like, okay,
And unfortunately, it's like a superpower. It's like an unwanted superpower.
unwanted,
It's unwanted.
Yeah.
but it's here.
Because I don't care about nothing.
Shrug your shoulders.
Listen, somebody could be over there talking. Let me get my stuff and get the phone out of here
Yeah.
because I don't want no parts of nothing.
Don't let nobody act like
I
they want to
hear
be your
some
friend
girls
no more.
don't like this.
Right.
They fighting by themselves.
You can't think I do.
Right.
Surely you can't think I care. I live every single day without my son. You know that I'm going to be just fine.
Right.
His grace is sufficient to sustain us all. We'll be just fine. You said a superpower? It is. Introduce us to Peter.
So he was funny. He was always playing tricks, like doing something to make us laugh. Always, just just the sweetest. And I know, and people say, "Oh no, he really was the sweetest son that you can ever have." Never, ever gave me a moment of trouble. Always there, always trying to make sure I was okay. Just a man's man, I would say. Smiled all the time, all the time. Just a good kid. He was, went to school, got his degree, all of that. Just and all of a sudden, I don't know what happened, with his mind, but it changed, and sometimes we don't see the signs. I didn't see the signs right away, but he was a good kid. And I will say what was difficult for me and is difficult for me. I'm probably not where everybody else is. Going to church was hard. It was, whew, I can go to God, but going to church was so hard because you're hearing people talk about, and God is going to deliver, and God is going to do it, and he can do it. And I believe that he can, but that wasn't the case for me. So and then I felt like I felt like like a spotlight was on me, because I would hear the scriptures, and I hear the scriptures now, and I'm getting to better, but it was difficult hearing. And then every time they talked about Peter, it was like, just to hear his name was so hard. And to hear faith, and that wasn't my story. To hear people, God, you hear testimonies, not that I'm hating on anybody else's testimonies about how their son was shot and God delivered them, and that wasn't my story. And hearing how people were, this happened, but that wasn't my story. And then when you don't care about what you say anymore, and so people saying things, because I have to live with the facts, and that was not my story. That's not how it happened for me. My answer was actually no. So then the superpower is when God says no, then what? Because that wasn't my story. It's not my story. And so I listened to Job as well. And then people would say some things like, God, and I know God is going to use, I know that all things work together. But I don't want to hear that. I'm just going to be real. Certain things I was like that for like 2 years. I didn't want to hear that. And not because I didn't believe it, but I'm processing something that you'll never, ever, unless you walk there, you'll never understand. And so I really had to go back to the scriptures, because people all want to talk about the joy, but nobody wants to talk about the pain. And so when I would read the scriptures, and I'm like, wait a minute, Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane. Like, we don't really, and it came to life to me about him being in that garden, and he kept, can you just watch with me for an hour? And they was like, but Jesus, you gonna be all right. Not knowing, because you don't want to, you don't want to have it all together. Well, I don't got it together right now. I'm falling apart. And here he was in the Garden of Gethsemane, falling apart. And the only person that could minister him were the angels. And then right after that, he goes on the cross. He goes through and that wasn't that big space and time. And he's on the cross again. And he was like, God, why have you forsaken me? And then that gave me the strength. Like, I'm not going to be strong for y'all, because I'm making you uncomfortable. And I get it. You love me. You want me to be okay. But I have to go through this. And so sometimes I make you uncomfortable. So you want me to just be okay. I'm not okay. I'm never going to be okay, but I'm okay with that. And so people can't handle your grief. And so they want to push you through. No, you ain't finna push me through this. This is my baby. And you ain't finna diminish this. Right. It's not even a year yet. I buried him before his birthday. His name was Peter. And then people giving me cards. I didn't want to be reading sympathy cards. I want to be reading birthday cards. It was 2 days before his birthday. So, but people don't understand that weight. And so they say things like, You know, even with everybody talk about Ruth and Boaz, I want my Boaz, but do you know what they went through to get that? Like, she had to lose a son and a husband. So we ain't gonna just skip over the pain part. And that's what people that want to push you past the pain. No, you ain't gonna push me past, because the way that I loved him, I'm not finna just act like he didn't exist so that you can feel better. And I know they don't mean it maliciously. I really do get it. It's the love that they have for you that wants you to be okay. But just, I'm not okay. Like, and that's okay. Like, you ain't finna make me be okay and I'm not. It doesn't mean that I don't have faith. It's not, has nothing to do with my faith and my trust in God. I'm a human being. So when I sing with Jesus, I'm like, oh, and he was a man of sorrow, acquainted with grief. I'm good. So, and I think that's the biggest thing. People want to push you past your pain. They don't, because they don't know how to sit with it. But people that been there, then they understand. They understand
and
why
they think that we choosing.
I'm not choosing it.
No, I'm not.
No,
choosing
just like
it.
with
This
the
is my
car.
situation.
Yes, like when I saw the car yesterday, it just, oh my gosh, it just put me into a space, you know, and I'm like, oh, you know, this is a car. And that's what I put on Facebook. I forgot something I said, like, you know, stop telling people to, no, just don't do that no more, because you don't understand. You know, let people express. Don't shut them down. Don't stop them from talking, because you need to express that. So.
You know, like when we say, "Hey, how you doing?" we just automatically say, "Oh, I'm good," because it's just a common thing to say. Because if I say what I want to say,
you what I'm really feeling. I almost committed suicide last night. Is that what you want to hear?
Yes.
Like, because I was there.
Yes.
Yeah. When I lost my son, I told my husband, I said, I understand.
Oh, sorry.
I said, I understand when someone goes through too much trauma and they want to give everything up and they want to do crack in the corner. That's how I felt. I didn't want to love anything else, but I have 3 girls. And I was even hurting the devil, like the enemy. Oh, he kept saying, you ain't no good to them. You crying so much, they can't even get better. They're going through what you're going through and you can't even help them. You're not even a good mom. And I had to process that too, because I wanted to help them. I want to have the words to help my daughters through it, because they were so close to him and they were hurting. Like my Allie is hurting to this day. Bad. And I had nothing to give her because I couldn't keep myself together.
when Liz said, they say, you see the post that say, "Oh, my son was in a car accident, but my son is good. And I'm so God. Thanks be to God. That he covered my baby." And me and Sharika had a conversation because somebody, and I do not think it's malicious, but I just think that people need to think. But I guess you have to live in this space to even, I guess we more sensitive to it because we know. And Sharika immediately is like, so God covered your baby, but God didn't cover mine.
Yeah.
And when that happened, Sharika, in that post, and I want you to introduce us to your baby too, because I know that your dad is a jokester and play all the time. And your baby was like that too.
She was. Talia was full of joy. She played a lot. She thought she was a comedian. She would ask me all the time, like, "You think I'm funny?" Because she would just have me rolling like till my stomach hurt. I'm like, "Yes, you're very funny." She talks so much. So much. I remember when Talia was little and she was in school, her report cards would be great, but it'd always be saying that she talked too much. You know, in so many words, like she's very talkative. And I'm like, she's talkative at home. There's like nothing I can do about that. It's just her personality. She loved to talk. She gonna spill all the tea. Tell all your business. You better make sure.
She was a great
She gonna tell all business. Oh yeah, she kept all the kids. All of them. All the kids used to be at my house. Like, Talia, it's time for these kids to go home. Okay, mama, just one more night. Just one more night. And they loved her. Oh my God. She would just sing and play and dance with all the kids. They loved her. So I had to start sending them to their house. Like, won't you go over there? Go on over there with all them kids. But Talia was fun. She was so fun. She didn't take nothing serious. Everything was a joke. She used to like to get her hair done. She was kind of girly, but not really. She was just she was just full of life. She was just a happy girl. Happy. Didn't take nothing serious at all. When she would be with Shanti, I would tell her Shanti would be like, Talia, why you play so much? Because she seemed like she was more serious and Talia was playing all the time.
But they worked because they was friends.
Yeah, they really loved each other. Yeah. They did. I seen it, they just loved being around each other.
Kids,
Yeah.
age 8.
I think younger than that.
Yeah.
When I read your bio, you said 2 daughters.
Yes, I lost so in 2014 I had a baby. She lived 3 weeks. She had a hole in her intestines that they didn't know. So she cried and cried a lot. So they didn't seem to figure out what had happened to her till later. A different doctor from another hospital, like a specialist, came to see her. And she was like, this baby needs surgery now. She immediately went to surgery. When they opened her up, they said she had gangrene all over her intestines. Yeah, so she told me, they could have saved her, but she would have just suffered. She would have eventually passed anyway. So we just let her go. Yeah. So that was I lost the baby then.
Danny asked you a question.
I'm sorry. Her name was Heaven. My mom named her. Yeah, my mom, she was more sad than I was. She cried for days. And she just couldn't understand. Like, she was like, nobody in our family has ever lost a baby. And I'm just, I was sad, but I couldn't process it. And it's weird to say, after that baby was born and I went through all that, it's like I forgot about a lot of it. Like, even when I think about it now, I don't have much memory of even giving birth.
You think that's
I think it was like a
protective
coping mechanism or something. I don't know, but it's like my
the
brain
mechanism that kicks in, because I'm so
it
afraid
blocked
when
it.
Tyrone's birthday comes, and when I start getting the birthday wishes and stuff, and I'm like, why are they saying happy birthday? Like, what's happy about it? I don't
Nothing.
want that. Let's go to the. I don't. Why? I don't want to go there. Like,
It's not my thing either. Some people, everybody has their own way
to do for you. I
Yeah.
get it, but Tiffany, introduce us to your baby.
He was a people person. She knew so many people. I would go to the store.
Maybe that's why so many people showed up on the scene.
Yeah, I would go to the store. I'd be at like Culver's, and they're like, "Oh, you don't have to pay for that. You're Shanti's mom." I'm like, "Oh, thanks." Starbucks, people way in Menominee Falls, girls. Here, you can have that. I know you. You know me from where? Snapchat. You're Shanti's mom. Yeah, and after she passed, so many people sent me inboxes about a young man said that he was bullied at school, in high school with Shanti. He said because of Ashanti, it made him a stronger person because she would take up for him. He said the teachers would help and she would get people off of him and say, y'all better leave him alone, and I'm not playing. Yes. Yep. She was an all around people's person. She would tell people how she felt, if she didn't like them. She would let them know, I don't like you. And I'm like, is it you? Because why do you keep getting into it with people? She said, Mama, please.
It's funny that we all. It's funny how we all have something in common, which is Michelle Pitts, my buddy, and I did not know that she funeralized y'all babies too. Well, I imagine that she would do yours, but when I came in the funeral home, because my sister made the call, was when I finally came to grips with okay, because I don't try to tell detectives, I was like, y'all sure y'all not talking about Tyrone Senior? Because he probably done did something, but guess I'm about the junior, he's 22. But I'm like, so when I came to grips with, okay, maybe, okay. So I told my sister, I said, get Michelle on the phone. We got Michelle on the phone. I got a chance to go see him. Michelle whispers to me, which one of your sisters? Son. I said, mine. And she was like, I can always pick a grieving mother. I can always pick a grieving mother. I said, ain't God good? Ain't God good? I want our listeners to remember these faces, these women, because these women are amazing. The things that these women are doing today, poet, military background, author. I mean, not just, I mean, we wear so many hats, hairstylists. I mean, it's so many, singer, postmaster. I did not know you was a postmaster, sister girl. You all these appointments, stop playing so much and tell me what y'all be doing for it. Postmaster, beautiful. I mean, have done, Tiffany, you wear a lot of hats. We introduce y'all sons and daughters. My son, I'm a Theresa Langdon, owner, operator of Theresa Do My Nails. I also do microblading, which is semi-permanent eyebrows, butterfly brows. Recently purchased a building with my brother, the Langdon Legacy. Everything is in honor of my son, my butterfly, everything. I just love the heart that God gave me after experiencing my son for 22 years. Every interaction that I have is intentional, on purpose, with purpose.
Yes.
You all know who I've serviced before. I don't do multiple people at one time. And you know, I do one person at a time because I'm intentional. I want to talk to that person. And I love, love, love. My heart is my women. I just love, I don't have any male clients. Well, my brother, my god brother, he don't count. My biological brother, he don't count. I cut my dad toenails and my uncle toenails. So they don't count. But clientele, I don't my passion is women. I love us. We wear so many hats and we do it with so much grace. And I said, no wonder grace and mercy follow us all the days of our lives because we need them. We need them to do the things that we do and wear the hats that we wear. I want y'all to introduce yourselves and what you do and how long you've done it. 18, 19, 33, 25. These are our babies. My son was 22. I say his whole name, Tyrone Keith Brown Jr. My son, forever with me. And that's what I want the world to know because we'll get a chance to talk about your son. You talk about your son in your appointments, prom, graduation. We get a chance to talk about that. But I'm saying I don't want the world to forget how amazing this person was. He was here. He was real. He was here. And we want to talk about them. And if this is the safe space to talk about them, do you feel how you feel, Danny? I'm concerned about you. Okay. Okay. And I want Danny to say what she do for a living and how long she's done it.
I have to tell my age. If Avery is 25, I did, well, now he's 30, but at the time, 30. So I owned a hair salon, partnered with my ex, Exodus. It's still there to this day. I am now running my own, purely rooted in a little studio, which I have all of my clients, which I love them. Same thing. I just wanted a slow motion where I just want to do one person at a time. I can get that person out. Like when I can tell you can do a washer style in an hour and 15 minutes, keep them going. But I'm able to have that one-on-one person. That personal conversation with them, and that's what I love. But then I also talking to the Black women, also learning how many issues that we have in our hair. Our percentage of Black women and cancer is so high because of the products that we use. So I have started purely rooted hair products, all natural, all organic, skin care products, everything. It's only started. It was a plan.
How long have you been doing hair from Exodus to
30 years?
30 years. You do something else too, Danny, because you do graphic.
I'm an artist. I'm a stylist. I'm those things. Yeah, kind of.
We're not going to
Yeah.
overstay.
Yeah.
Like these-
Yeah, I was a personal stylist at Nordstrom. That was like 5-6 years. Now I'm kind of like a freelancer. Yeah, and I'm an artist also, and I do events.
Military background. Tell us about you.
Absolutely. So my name is Liz Luckett. I do have a military background. I was in the Army for about 10 years. Was in banking for about 25 years. Got out of banking to start my own business. Developed a program for Word of Hope called the Diverse Business Development Program, where we were able to secure a $2.7 million grant that we wrote in 5 days, I might add. But
Because you're a grant writer.
mhm. We wrote it in 5 days, got the grant, and our goal was to service 100 small businesses. We serviced 330. Program is still going. I took a break from it, but they're still doing it. So I work with small business owners beyond the product, the service, the idea. How do you do the business of business? So that's what we talk about. I am a poet as well. I love poetry. I love words, how powerful they are. That's why when people use them the wrong way, they don't understand how detrimental it can be. So I do that, and then yeah, that's what I do.
Author too.
Oh yeah, I'm an author. I have
I know
3
more
books.
about y'all than y'all know about yourself.
I have 3 books, and one of my books is called "It's Okay to Cry." It actually, I wrote it when my father passed away, but it's called "It's Okay to Cry," not knowing that I would have to enjoy those words myself. But I do. Yeah. So I love. Speaking of, I love working with women. I love through the power of words. Even when it comes to domestic violence, mental health, the issues that women face that we hide behind our makeup, I think sometimes, and we look good on the inside, but if I could just really show you those scars that underneath, woo, if I can pull it off and tell you the truth, when you were talking about, not want to be here, saved, sanctified, Holy Ghost filled, and fire baptized. But many times I was on that driving and just, Liz, don't push the accelerator, because I just wanted to push that accelerator and just, I just can't do this. And, they say, God won't put no more on you than you can bear. And I'm like, Lord, are you sure? Because this feels like more than I can bear. But grateful to God, because through his word and the power of spoken word, I'm here today. So I'm excited.
I'm Sharika.
Sharika Noble.
Noble.
Always ready to play. You need to grow up. I
Can't
mean,
help it.
your baby personality coming out.
I know, right? That's where I'm sure that's where she got it from.
I'm talking about that. She used to play so much. Like, oh, did she? Wonder where she got that from. Oh, maybe you and your dad.
Yeah, he was worse.
Because dad joke about serious stuff
Yes.
though, and say
let
the
me
wrong
I just
stuff
want to
too.
say one thing, because I tell people this story all the time, what my dad did. So when my first child passed away, we were all at the hospital. We're all sitting around. They bring us the baby. Everybody's crying. And so my dad get the baby. And he looked at it. He was like, you know what this baby looked like? So he's like, what the baby look like that? He was like, you remember that little alien in Men in Black? You know that thing that was in the hat? That baby looked just like that. And then everybody just busts out the laughing. I'm like, why did he say that? But I was crying and laughing. Like, it was so funny. It was like, but that's the type of thing he did all the time.
That's why your baby was funny then.
Listen,
And
at
you
the
too.
wrong time.
And he joked about the wrong stuff too.
Yeah. He said, we was at my cousin's funeral, and he passed like a day before his birthday. So his mom had 2 cakes at the repast. So she had 1 cake for his birthday, 1 cake for the repast. So my dad looked at the cake, and my aunt said, nobody cuts this cake, the one that she bought for his birthday. So my dad was like, I want some of that cake though. I said, Dad, she said, don't cut the cake. He was like, oh, I'm cutting that cake, and cut the cake. He looked at my aunt and said, George, I told you not to cut that cake. He said, he ain't gonna eat it no way.
I knew that was. I knew it.
What's wrong?
The stuff
And
that
she looked at
Sharika
me.
tell me that he said, I'm like, Sharika.
She was like, I'm gonna kill your dad. He was like, who gonna eat the cake? Who gonna eat the cake? And I'm just sitting there looking at him like, you are. Can't take him nowhere. Wow. Just an embarrassment. But that's the type of person.
So how
he
many
was.
years at the post office?
Ooh, I've been at the post office since 2004.
Wow.
Yeah, I done worked various different
I know you
jobs,
just
so-
love it there so much. We talk about it all the time.
Ooh, I just love it. Such
Beautiful.
such a great place to work.
Such an amazing place to work.
Man, I
just
meet a
love
lot of
all the
amazing
people there.
though. I do.
Especially when they won't open the door for you when they see you standing there at the door. Tiffany, let's
I ain't
talk
got
about your
nothing to
sting. Tiffany is singing.
I am an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur since forever, probably about 20 years. I wear a lot of hats. I am a singer, a Christian singer, and also I just started singing Southern soul music. It's similar to the blues. So I've been doing that. I've been traveling, doing that. I have a new single out with Search House. So I'm really excited about that. I'm a caterer. I cook. I do repasses and events. I'm a caregiver. I'm an owner of Mother's Cry. We meet quarterly. It's an outlet for mothers that have lost children. I have therapists come in and speak to us and answer questions, and people speak. And yeah, I have a lot of jobs. More, but I can't think of all of them right now. Yes.
Do you think anything that you? I know that you've been in hairstylists for 30 years, and that was is way before Avery transition. But I'm saying the transition of our children, did it give you a different like I do nails now, but I do with a different it's a different layer to it.
Yeah.
Like the passion behind it is different. Like everything is so intentional. Like
yeah.
I treat every opportunity like this might be my remember that so old him. This might be my last time. It may be my last time. I don't know. That's what plays in my spirit all the time. Like make it count.
Yes.
Make it count. I hug my clients. I tell my clients I love them, not because it's something to say, because I actually do.
Yes.
So the hurt that we get after something like this is painful, Liz.
It
We
is.
love you. We're gonna love on you. And this is new for you. I'm 13 years out. You how many years out? 5?
Us 4.
4.
Yeah.
And even 13 years out, Danny said, I want to do this, but I don't speak publicly about Avery. So do you have any tricks? Any strategies? And I was like, unfortunately, in Christ, there's no tricks. There's no strategies to this. We just gonna walk by faith. We gotta walk this thing out. I'm just grateful to be able to walk it out with people mothers that occupy the same space as me. And then they all cute. They may all cute, so that just helps. But I'm saying, like, to be able to sit with y'all, like I was thinking, like, what questions could be off limits? And we have somebody missing, Shani Belton, which is my spiritual mother, her daughter. I won't tell her story, of course, but I asked, like, I wonder what questions will be off limits. And she was like, well, talking to you, we all occupy the same space. So nothing is off limits because we kind of know, other people need to tread lightly and they're not. But but I'm saying it's just open for us because what could I ask this? I really be wanting to know.
If I could say one thing is you asked a question just a minute ago about this heart that we have after. I didn't have this heart before Avery. I'm gonna be honest. But I think we have to go through our journey before you get that heart, because for 3 years I was faking like I'm healing, like trying to do it myself, trying to find things, and I was still waking up depressed. And I remember I started my healing journey. I want to say the beginning of the year, this year, because I woke up one day. I said, I can't keep living like this. I gotta live. I have grandkids coming. I got my dog. I gotta live. It got so bad where I told my husband, go find somebody else, because I'm not the person I was when you married me. And I don't know if I can be that person. And of course he was upset about that, but but if I can say, I think everybody has to go through that process. But God has something for us to learn to get to that heart, because that heart is pure. That heart has no problem with nobody, because my baby is gone. That's all I'm praying to get up every morning and make this day happen.
Right.
So I can wake up tomorrow. That's what's going on in my mind. I ain't worried about what you saying, or you saying. I'm trying to make it through this day.
Right.
So when you go through that process and all the steps that you need to go through, that heart is so pure afterwards. I love this heart. I love this heart. I'm able to hug my, I don't have enemies. I was going to say enemies, but I don't have any. If they got a problem with me, they got a problem with me. But I hug everybody, even people that don't even talk to me. I just because
and the hug is even different.
it's real.
Everything is just
It's
different.
real.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just so different. Like it's from a space of
You said you got there right away.
instantly.
I didn't get there right away. And even though I was brought up, you know, my grandmother was a pastor, my grandfather was a bishop. I was brought up in church.
Yeah.
But I think this was a way that God shook me. Like, you need your own personal. I want to be personal with you.
Yeah.
And I think when I lost my son, I, you know, after going through all this stuff, God, I prayed. I prayed for 3 days. I was for him. I was praying for you. I was fasting. I wasn't eating. What was going? My son fasted for a week, and he died on the last day of his fast. Now, if you can't tell me why I'm not angry, I'm like, what are we fasting for? Am I gonna die? Like, it's just you have so much going through your mind. But then when you realize that it's just the enemy, and God has it all planned out, and He didn't even have the medicine for you to get through it, but you have to trust Him. You got to surrender it. That's when you'll get through.
Yeah.
It's the only time, and you got to be real about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I almost died, and I woke up and I said, "Yeah, I can't." Because one day I'm gonna do it for real.
Yeah.
I can't. I went and got me a therapist. I went and got me a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
Both of them are Christians. I love it.
Right.
I just said, God, I'm for real about this work now. And it took me 3 years.
And when I say I got there instantly, that's not a brag or a flex.
I think it's good.
Well, I think that's all I knew. That's all I had. Like my mom, I knew that there's no help. I didn't have no help. There was nobody around me to say, "Oh, it's you." And then I don't know that somebody could have said it's gonna be okay. I don't know if somebody could have said I might have been offended.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to get where I knew he know everything. You know what I mean? He know. My mom was like cleaning up, dusting, wiping down stuff. I'm looking at her like, you know, give me something, and she had nothing. And so I knew I have to get to the throne. I gotta get where I can get some help, because there's no help. You know, nobody can help me. There was no what was you gonna say to console me? And you know, I signed up for school. I went to school for theology. I can't hear from God. I can't nothing. And you know, and it's just like that was the only help that I knew. That was that was the only help that I knew. My son father, he's like, Reese, you keep talking about God, but God didn't save him. He didn't. And I said, well, he didn't cause it. He just allowed it. And we're gonna wrap it up with inhale, exhale, because that's what I tell my daughter.
Yeah.
And every time you do it, it's a gift. God don't owe us nothing. We owe Him everything. Every time you think about complaining, breathe in, breathe out. Because guess what? We don't do it on our own. We don't even have the ability or the authority to do it on our own. Everything, we just stewards over it. Everything belongs to Him. Everything belongs to the kingdom. Whatever you can be trusted with, that's what you have. I mean, all of us. It you know, I own this. I own, because you are good with money, and He can trust you to steward over that amount of stuff. But the main thing is feed my sheep. It's not just for us. We're supposed to be giving back. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you guys. It's Sunday evening. You guys can be at home with y'all families and husbands.
I don't have a husband.
Either Tiffany, should we cry?
Do his name.
Don't cry.
Yeah, my son.
Don't-
Hilarious.
I think this is the season I'm supposed to be in. Cause it's kind of nice sitting on the edge of that bed for hours and nobody says, "What we gonna eat?"
Right. What my son says.
Or why you keep eating that one too. Why you keep eating? Nobody says that to me, so I just be noonie. So but I'm believing God for one.
Me too.
All right, we see. Oh, be quiet, because you just got one.
I just got me one too.
And by the way, my clients' husbands be loving me. They don't even be knowing me. Dave said, I love you because she do. but he didn't even know how I look. He done hugged me and everything. Then he said, "Oh, that's Theresa. Oh, I love you." I'm like, Dave, you didn't even know who I was. You didn't even know who I was a little while ago.
My nails done anymore.
Wow.
Your husband better love me because you love me. So I thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. I hope that we help somebody. I hope that somebody feel like one of us feel or felt, and know that help is on the way. And we're not gonna stay there. Liz, we know. Liz, I especially hope this help you.
Yeah.
Because this is very new for you. And for you to be able to talk about this now, man, beautiful. But you at Holy Cathedral doing all kind of works over there. Yeah, I did your program. Yeah, so yeah, this was never my intent. I'm trying to talk to one client at a time with microphones on, and look what the Holy Spirit done did. Let him have his way, huh? His plan is better than our plan, right? Michelle is in the room. Ain't nobody invited her. She's just in the room. She done funeralized all our babies. So we're gonna wrap it up. Liz, you want to pray us out? Okay.
So, Lord, I just thank you for this opportunity. I just thank you for this conversation, God, that we were able to have among mothers, God, that are hurting and healed. God, you can do both. And I'm glad that that is two things can exist at the same time. And for those that are watching on, that they may feel like, I don't know what to do. Neither did we. I don't know what to say. Neither did we. But God. But God. And so I just pray for those, God, that they find solace in some of the words that we may have said, maybe have resonated with them, God, and know that it is going to be okay. And those thoughts, they're not crazy. That is normal. Those thoughts are normal. And I just ask that you bless Theresa, God. Thank you, God, just for the courage, God, to pull us together wherever stage we are in. And every woman that sits here, God, I just thank you, God, for our hands, our minds, our feet, and our heart, God, to do your will, because you've gifted us something. It may not feel like it, but it is a gift that you've given us. And I thank you for it. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank y'all. Man, this man.